och välkomna till en ny video. Idag befinner jag mig på NK i Stockholm och i Max Counter. Och jag kommer inte göra mitt smink själv idag utan jag har då en gäst här på kanalen. So tell us about yourself.
Yes, hi everybody. My name is Stefan. I'm the senior event artist from MAC Cosmetics in Sweden, which means I do a lot of different things with makeup and with MAC. And we have beautiful Johanna here today to show you a holiday look with our newest collection and play a little bit with the makeup.
Yes, I'm so excited.
Yeah, me too.
For like a month ago, I got my makeup done by MAC, and I have never been so pleased about the makeup.
Oh, that makes us happy to
incredible. I mean, it was a lot of freckles and so glowy skin, and I just looked plumped and more awake. I don't know what happened, but it looks really nice. So I just want to feel like my best self.
Exactly. We're gonna find out the secrets today.
Yes, it's so much fun. Okay, so I have my skincare done for like 1 hour ago.
Okay.
So yeah, you can do whatever you want from here.
I'm gonna start refreshing the skin a bit.
Yes.
I think we're gonna do the eyes first today because we're gonna do some glittery shadows. We don't want any fall down. So then I do the eyes first. So keep it simple. But I'm gonna start with a bit of Magic Radiance Fix Plus. This is a setting spray with glow and skincare. So I like to start off the skin with it. There's no point in removing all the skincare because it's there already. So let's just refresh on it. So if you can close your eyes. I do a nice spray. I'm not shy with it. No. It will sink in.
So has this some glitter in it?
No, this has just like skincare ingredients, essential oils, vitamin C, and hyaluronic acid. So it just gives glow, but no, like there's no sparkle in it at all.
So it's like this original Fix Plus.
Just with more glow. So it's a good skin prep and a good like finishing off the makeup. But I love to use it under.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna start on the brows because I like to have the brows a bit filled in before we do anything.
Yes.
Just so we know where we're going. They don't have to be fully filled in, but I just like to kind of like have some base going on so we know what the shadow, where the shadow will go. Exactly. Do you usually do your base first or your eyes first?
It's like different phases in life. So right now I do my base and then the eyes and then I do powder. So it's, but I had like a year for like 3 years ago where I only did my eyes first to get like the cut.
Exactly.
So it was when, do you watch a lot of YouTube?
It depends, so if I have the time.
Yeah, because I think like it was a lot of makeup gurus on YouTube that did their eyes first and then...
With the really sharp, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it was so nice.
Exactly.
So that's because I'm not educated. I'm not a makeup artist. I've only learned from YouTube myself.
But it works well. I mean, I also like to do the eyes first sometimes if we're doing something a bit more metallic, just because the shadows can have some fallout. And then especially if you have a bit glowier skin, like the fallout just sticks. So I'd rather just do the eyes first and then everything that falls down, you don't even have to worry, just wipe it off with the wipe or some makeup remover.
Of course.
So, but the brows are nice to do first as well, just to know where the eyes is going to be. I'm using the eyebrow styler. This is the shade Lingering. So it's a taupey brown, not too cold, not too warm. Really nice color for like more lighter brows.
Okay. But what are the brow trend right now?
I think everybody is all about the fluffy brow.
The fluffy brow.
Yes, it's still on trend, like the laminated look, but maybe a bit less intense than it was recently because they weren't like we did it pretty wild.
Yes, like
exactly. I think still people like to do it, but maybe a bit more tamed, maybe not so defined and intense. So I still do the gel and everything to keep them up, but I don't stick them completely to the skin.
Okay.
They can be a bit extreme sometimes. It's a nice look, but it depends on the occasion, you know.
Yeah, of course.
So this is just a clear brow set. It's a nice hold, but not too like crunchy feeling. Yeah. So I wouldn't say it's like for a fully laminated brow, but if you just want to keep the brows in place, it's a really good product. It's a Fashion Week hero. We use it all the time.
Oh, what's the name of the product?
Brow Set in Clear.
Brow Set in Clear.
Yeah,
you have to show the camera.
Oh,
I haven't said. Demonstration of otherwise it's the same product.
Yes. It just sets the hair almost like a hairspray. It's like not super heavy hold where it feels crunchy, but it sets the hair in place. And I like the fact that it gives a bit of a shine to the brows, so they look really natural. Even you could have filled them in maybe a bit more than what you would usually do, but the shine kind of makes it look like it's more natural coming in, you know, just from the hair itself. But there we go. So I brushed them up in the front a bit to get a fluffy look, but then I kind of on towards the sides, I kind of almost slick them a bit down, so you get that fuller front, but the more kind of like sleek, defined ends. There we go. So brows pretty simple. You have really nice brows, so it's not hard to do.
Perfect.
Now we're gonna start on the eyes. We're gonna use your favorite soft ochre paint pot. Yes.
The only primer I have.
Yes, it's so good. I mean, it just makes everything last, and I like the fact that it has a bit of a yellow tone. It just removes all the red from the lids.
But you have a lot of different colors.
Yes. So we have soft ochre is the most popular one, which is this one. You can see a bit of a golden tone, but we also have a bit more rosy tones, and we have darker tones for darker skin, and they can be used as a cream shadow. So many different shades in this one. Yeah. But the soft ochre is the most popular for our base if we're gonna go with powder shadow.
Yeah. But you have like one with colder.
Yep. That's Painterly.
Painterly.
Painterly. We have a complete white one called Sink to a Whisper, black, and like everything in between. Yeah. But I really like them as bases. But on a quick day, they're a good shadow as well. Like no powder shadow needed on top.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna apply that all over the lid. I'm using blending brush 217, just really soft because you really want to blend it out so you don't see any harsh edges. So I'm really working it all the way from the lid towards the brow. It's also nice if you want to fix up the brow a little bit.
Yeah.
Sometimes it happens that the brow pencil goes a bit lower than what you would like, so then I fix it up with the primer.
I feel like this is the only product that works for me because I have quite oily lids. Like the end of the day, I have a lot of mascara. Yeah.
Smudges
on the lid. Yeah, but this is the only one that works.
Yeah, I love it, and I really like the fact that you get a clean lid, like ready for the makeup.
Yes.
Especially when you're working with colorful shadows, you want kind of to have the lightest lid possible.
Yeah.
So the shadows really show. So I love this one, and it's been in my kit ever since, you know, I started with MAC, and it was like for years it's been a really popular product.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that hasn't changed. We use it every day here at the counter.
Yeah.
For the eyeshadow, I have some new eyeshadows from the holiday collection called Sparkler Shadows. They're like a sheer sparkly shadow that is really nice and like kind of festive. And I have it in a really nice pink shade and a light gold that we're going to use today to create a glittery smoky eye. Which I think will look nice because I see you usually in neutrals, so I was like, let's play with color a bit.
Yeah, I feel like the last year has been so neutral since like the TikTok. We don't see a color like we much. Did on YouTube for like 3 years ago.
Definitely.
So I think that's the main reason why I mainly do like neutrals. But I really like more colorful looks. So maybe during the spring I will get it back. I don't know.
Maybe this will kind of like inspire.
Yeah, hopefully.
I mean, I think pink is a really nice one because it's not so bright. It's not like a turquoise or like an aqua blue or something. It's still pretty like easy to wear if you ask me. So I think we should go with that one.
Yeah, I agree.
So if you can look up for me, I like to take the same paint pot underneath the eye because I'm going to do shadow under the eye as well.
Really?
Yes.
I've never done that.
I take them all. If it's a skin tone matching color, if it's not like a darker one, I just apply it all over because, as I said, we're doing the eyes first, so we can always just clean up before the concealer. But it's nice to have something for the shadow that I'm going to use under to stick on top. So I just put this.
So you do the under eye shadow before the base as well?
Yeah, because I feel like you can clean it up with concealer.
Okay.
So I think it's all like everybody has their own different procedure. For me, it really depends on the look, you know. Sometimes if the eyes are not the focus, then I will do the base first. But but if we're doing the eyes first, then I like to do the everything except the lashes that we're going to do last.
So we'll have big lashes, or
we're going to do like a half lash.
Yeah.
Yes. But I thought it would be a nice addition to the pink. See, but I'm really taking this all the way out, as I said, because we're doing the eyes first. It's really okay to take it out, and it matches your skin tone pretty well, so you're not even going to see if you take it a bit longer outside. There we go. And now I'm gonna start with the eyeshadow. I like to create the base first, so I'm using 2 matte shades. One is called Royal Rendezvous, is the lighter one, and the darker one is called Ripened. It's like a rosy matte tone to put something in the crease before we go on with the sparkle. And I'm using the 224 blending brush to apply this. This is like a really nice fluffy crease brush.
Yeah.
Yes. But I'm gonna mix them, so I'm gonna tap a bit in each one. I actually like to let the primer have a second to set before we go on to the shadow, so it's not fully like still creamy, so it goes a bit more matte, and then I go into the shadow. So now I'm gonna start with the blending brush, and I like to create like a crease color, just so there's something. I don't like to go with pure shimmer. It's good to have a bit of depth in the eye look as well.
Yeah.
But I chose this kind of like rosy ones to fit with the theme.
Yeah. But so will we get like a more bright pink, or are these the colors that you will go with?
For in the crease, a bit more neutral, but the pink on the lid is going to be a bit more intense.
Okay.
To get the kind of the most of the color on the lid, and I think it's really nice to wear color in a finish that is a bit more shimmery, if that's not what you usually do. I always like to have a clean blending brush that you can always run through the edges to make sure it's all super blended. This is another one of the same, 217. It's a favorite. I think I have like 7 in my belt. It just works. Gets the job done.
Yeah. Yeah, that's like the key. Have clean brushes.
Yeah, definitely. If I do, like, for example, like on Fashion Week, my whole brush belt gets used.
Yeah.
So I always try to have a new one. And if it's not possible in between customers or shows, I will use brush cleanser from MAC. Because that is alcohol based, so it will clean it up. Or I use alcohol to disinfect them completely. So sometimes I do both. Clean them with the brush cleanser first, and then alcohol to clean everything and disinfect the brush. But that's just like, if it's really necessary, usually have a clean brush.
Yeah. But then you have to have like hundreds of brushes.
This whole thing gets used when I'm on Fashion Week. So
oh my god.
Packed. Now I'm gonna go in with a lighter shadow. This one is called Orb. This I'm gonna do underneath the brow. It's just a light matte, just to get a bit of brightness underneath the brow with a flat brush. This brush is 242.
So just a matte bright.
I just like to have the brow bone highlight be matte if we're doing a bit more of a shimmery look. And if you have any problems with blending ever, it's the light color that really helps everything blend together when you lay it down underneath your brow. It helps the crease really kind of blend in nicely. I don't like it to be too light, but just so it helps kind of get the colors we put on be a bit more smooth.
Because I always take a shimmery shade.
Well, that can be used. Yeah, can do it as well. Depends on the look, definitely.
But I feel like MAC is more like high pigment coverage on the skin, and more matte, not like the natural glowy, no?
It depends on the product.
Okay.
I think a lot of people see MAC as that, but we have so many products that are the more glowy, more trendy kind of products. But because our products are made to be used by professionals, and MAC has started as a company where it was like, we've made products that were hard to access back then. A lot of it still stays true, but I find everything that we have can be worked. You know, like nothing is. And we as artists, we're always learned that you can always mix it, or apply something under, or apply with mix something with a moisturizer. All of the products can be used in that way. So nothing is like this is how it is and this is how you can apply it. We always like to play with the products and mix and match and see what works. Yeah. So today I'm gonna use a more full coverage foundation when we get to it, but I'm also gonna put it on a glowy base. So then it's not gonna be so full coverage. You can always make it work, I feel. Yeah. See, so now we have a nice crease. I should give you a mirror so you can also see.
Yeah, but I see from like every angle.
There we go. You can have this one. So I just did the crease.
This is quite neutral.
Yeah, it's pretty neutral. But I like to go back and forth until I feel it's completely blended. So I'm going back with the first shade that we have applied, the Royal Rendezvous, and just making sure the blend is completely soft. But what's your experience with MAC? Have you used a lot of our products?
Yes, I feel like the MAC Studio Fix Fluid has been with me for so many years.
A classic.
Yeah, I think it was like one of the first real foundations that I bought that wasn't like a skin tint or a BB cream or something.
Like something with coverage.
Exactly, it was like, oh my god, this is what I can look like. Because when I was younger I only used concealer and no foundation, because I thought that I looked weird with that much coverage. But then I probably used MAC and was like, oh, like with the right shade, since you have a lot of like different like C and
we have NC, NW, C and N now. So many.
Exactly. So I found the right shade, and then I started using foundation, and now I like always use foundation. The
next one I'm going in with is Embark, the eyeshadow. It's like a plummy dark brown, so it's good to add like in the outer corners for some smokiness. And I'm using a tiny brush called 221. This is so small. so you can really get in the crease without the dark shadow getting everywhere. So I'm applying a bit of that one, more on the outer corners. And why I also like to do the eyes first is because when you're doing on somebody else the makeup, you can actually lift the brow a bit, so it's easier for you to get the shape and to blend. And when you have foundation, you can't really do that. Don't want to take it off. So I always lift the brow a tiny bit when I'm working on these like tight outer edges to make sure that the shadow goes exactly where you want it. I'm tapping in a bit of the dark brown.
I feel like that kind of dark brown is a really important shadow to have in your collection.
It is.
So if you have that one, you can make every, like, it doesn't matter if it's pink, purple, blue, green, you can always put it in and make every eyeshadow darker.
Definitely.
And more depth.
Definitely.
So important. So just blended it all out.
Exactly. We just blended out the darker shade called Embark. I put it more on the outer corner and then maybe just halfway into the crease, just so it doesn't get so dark close in. And I'm going back with the first one again, Royal Rendezvous, and the same brush, the 224, to blend out everything to make sure it's super soft.
So how do you think when you're applying the shadows, since I have rounded eyes, or what kind of eye shape do I have?
I would say that you have a bit more of a rounded eye, but you do have a nice prominent lid, so you have the space to put on shimmers and everything so it can see. So it's nice, if you want to complement the roundness, you can do a bit more of a round shape, but if you want to pull the eye out a bit, then you can do a bit more of a winged. So both work, just depends on what you personally like. I've taken it out slightly out, but when we get the lower lash line, clean it up, we're going to take it even a bit more catty, because I think that look tends to look really nice. Exactly.
Yeah, I like that as well.
It's almost giving the liner feeling, but not actual liner, so it gives you the shape of a liquid liner that you take out, but more in a shadow form.
So if you have like more hooded eyes, that kind of eyeliner is better for
I would say for hooded eyes, I have them myself. It's nice to work a lot on the bottom lash line because you don't see the top lash line so much. So I put the drama at the bottom or make it dark, and you don't have to be afraid to go low. It's okay because that's what you see, you know. But for you, for example, you have a nice space on the lid, so I don't like to go too dark underneath the eyes and keep the drama at the top. So just gonna follow what you naturally have.
Is that why I don't like myself in eyeshadow on the lower lash line?
Could be, because you do have nice space on the top. So I think the lower lash line would drag you down a bit.
That's what I feel like always. I'm putting it on and I'm just looking at myself. It feels like something's wrong here. So I'm just, taking a light shadow and erasing it. So that's why.
Could be. It's nice to have something on the bottom lash line, like just a hint, maybe like not the darkest color, but the lighter ones on the bottom. If you feel that it drags you down, don't do so much. Yeah,
because I want to like open my eyes, but not like drag them.
Exactly, exactly.
Is the pink shadow now?
It's the pink shadow time, yes. We're gonna use the limited shadow from the holiday called More Presents, Please. This is a sparkler eyeshadow, so it's a glittery finish and a bit more sheer. So we're gonna use this one for all over the lid. But a tip I have for them is if you really wanna make them show a lot, really get the metallic, is to apply them wet, but not the typical spray the brush with. I'm gonna spray the eyeshadow.
But yeah, it doesn't get ruined?
No, these ones, the extra dimension shadows and the sparkler shadows, they don't get hard. So when the setting spray goes out, it's back to normal. Okay. It's really nice. It's a really good tip. So I spray it a few times and with the brush almost create a paste, and I'm using just the Fix Plus, the original one. And I'm gonna pick it up with a flat brush and almost create a paste, and you get such a pigmented shadow then. Yeah. You can see a lot comes out on the brush and not much fallout. Let me get a bit more on. You almost want to create like a paste of it, but it works really well. Oh, there we go.
Oh, like a cream shadow.
Yeah, becomes a cream shadow. So if you can close for me now. So everywhere now that we have left on the lid more clean, I'm gonna apply the pink shadow. And because it's wet, it's gonna go on like a cream. Sorry, it's not a cream shadow, but now it is. And it's a really nice glittery pink finish. Not like chunky glitters, more like a sparkle, but really nice as like a highlight of color. It's really pretty and I think approachable color. And I mean, if there's a time to play with the makeup, I think it's for the holidays. I mean, then usually you might go a bit stronger than what you would do for New Year's and for Christmas.
Especially when you are dressed in black, as I am today. You can just take some colors on the eyes or the lips.
And that's why all of the MAC artists are always with bright makeup, because they're always dressed in black. Yeah. So the makeup makes up for the lack of color in the clothes. And now we're gonna go with the gold one. This one is called Don't Burst My Bubbly.
Oh my god.
So pretty. That one is really nice. It's a champagne gold. Again, sparkly sheer, so it gives you that almost like, just like a glittery topper kind of feeling when it's dry. But when it's wet, it does the same job as this. But I do want to apply it now a bit more kind of like sheer and sparkly. So I'm going to use this one dry with a smaller brush in the inner corner. So I'm going to use, this is a pencil brush 219, just a classic pencil brush. There we go. So I pick it up dry. And if you can look all the way up for me, I'm going to apply it in the inner corner. When these shadows are applied dry, then they're a bit more of like sheer, sparkly wash. So a really easy way to wear glittery shadow. Without messing with like loose glitters and you know, stuff like that. This gives you the look of that in one step. And this is why I applied the base as well on the inner corner and outer, so we have everything ready for the shadows. I'm just gonna clean up then if it's, there we go. So I'm gonna take a bit of Fix Plus and just clean up any of the fallouts. If you can look up for me. I'm not using a makeup remover to not remove like all the skincare we have underneath. Fix Plus is still like hydrating. And this just helps me move away any of the glittery fallout that we might have. And I make sure to kind of give the shadow a bit of that sharp edge as well.
If you're wondering about the dress, it's from Chiquel. Yes, and the earrings are from Makeup Mecca.
It's nice. Okay, so I'm gonna work on the lower lash line now. I'm gonna apply the eye pencil in the shade Teddy. This is a classic bronze brown. I'm gonna put something in the waterline to get it a bit smoky. Ooh. So if you can look all the way up for me, this is not the most comfortable step ever, but it's worth it. I will apply the pencil all the way in the waterline. There we go. I know.
That's okay.
I would say if you have like smaller eyes, I would maybe skip this step because it tends to close off the eye. But if you have bigger eyes,
but I feel like I have quite small eyes. Maybe regular. I
wouldn't say they're super small. I think you have like a good space. So with somebody who doesn't have a lot of space, where the eyes are a bit more squinted, I don't do so much dark in the waterline. But I think it would work well. But also, as I said, it depends on how far down you take it. It doesn't have to be super far down. Applying it in between the lashes. It looks crazy for a second. Don't worry about that.
I trust you.
And now we take a clean pencil brush, the same one that I've used just before, the 219 brush, and just blend it out. This is a trust the process look. Before we get the baseline and everything.
So, I think that's why people are afraid to do their eyes first, because it looks so weird when you don't have the base done. Yeah,
it's nice to do the eyes when you know what you're doing, when you know what look you're going for. If you don't, do the base first.
Yeah, definitely.
There we go, that's basically.
Woo! Oof.
Fun, right?
Yes. So nice.
the brown added a bit of depth, but it's not that dark underneath the eyes. And I've connected the outer corner to get a bit more of that winged shape on the outer lash line, connecting it kind of to the top. So it all flows together. You kind of want to have the same thing going on top and bottom. So now we're going to start on the base. Now that we have the eyes done, we just have lashes left that I keep for the last. And we're going to go with Johanna's favorite, Studio Fix Fluid. This is the shade NC30, so a bit more like a golden toned beige. And I applied underneath this foundation. We went in with the Studio Radiance primer. This is a really glowy primer, great for more dry skin or for that kind of glass skin effect. But because the foundation we're using is a bit more matte, this will kind of make it more skin-like, not so matte.
That's good.
Yes, we let that sink in for a second, and now we're gonna go in with foundation.
So, does this have like full coverage?
Yes, Studio Fix Fluid is medium to full, I would say. Not full, depends on how much you apply. But it gives like a nice medium to full, and I think it looks like really nice and smoothing on the skin. That's why I like it. It just makes the skin look nice. The trick is to apply it in a thin layer though.
And also with a really small brush?
Small brush, or I like a sponge as well. Because with a sponge you can really press it in so it shears it out. So I apply it with one brush just to get it on the skin, and then I'm using the sponge to kind of just buff it around. But my recommendation, is like a small, dense brush so you can really work it in. It's a bit of a thicker formula, so you need something that can move it.
I feel like that is a makeup artist trick to use small brushes.
Yeah, definitely.
We like other people, we use big foundation brushes, but it works for all of us.
It works. It depends. For for every day, it's nice with a bigger brush because it gets your makeup on quickly.
Yeah.
But if you're doing something more
maybe
precise...
that's why mine take like 30 to 45 minutes.
Exactly. But I like to get the foundation on the skin with something, so I'm using just a flat brush. This is a 252, and just applying it and then using the sponge or a brush to kind of blend it out. So I'm never going in directly with the sponge to apply it because I feel it sucks up half of your product, that you don't get the coverage. But if you get it on the skin with something and then blend it out, you get the best coverage and you use less product in the end. But I'm really bouncing it in, and with this look it's okay to have a bit fuller coverage since it's such a glam eye, so I like to match it on the skin. Yeah. But are you a sponge or a brush girl with the foundation?
I feel both.
Both?
Yes, I apply with a brush and then dab it in with the blender.
Yeah,
like
I do the same. I do the same.
Have you sprayed any Fix Plus on the blender?
No, I just used it
water.
Damp. Yeah, exactly, just with water. But if you want to have like a glowy look, like more glowy, or if your skin is feeling a bit dry, you can absolutely use the sponge with Fix Plus, even the Magic Radiance that I showed, the first one we've used, the more glowy one. But just not to kind of mess with the foundation. I did it completely just regular. We love it.
Yes.
Right?
So even now it looks so much better.
Yeah, exactly. I really feel that this type of look needs the foundation to look really nice and even and smooth. Sometimes getting on the base first is the key as well. If the base is the most important, do it first. If the ice is the most important, do it first.
Because I feel like a lot of people watch me.
Yeah.
I think the main reason is because of the base. Or
Yeah.
What do you say, Johanna?
I think so. I think you're pretty well known for the glowy base.
Am I?
Yeah.
More than the eyeshadow.
I think the base.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I would guess.
Yeah, because I feel like I'm better at the base. I feel like I'm good at eyeshadow, but I just like it's neutrals. It's not that like no, exactly. And my key for like good base is a lot of setting sprays like during the routine, not like before and after, and also during.
In between.
If you feel like, oh, I'm a little bit dry, or maybe this product is dry when I blend it in, I have to go in with setting spray.
Definitely.
So over powder, before bronzer, before highlighter.
It helps everything blend together, especially when you're using a bit more matte formulas like I am right now. It gives them a bit more playtime because I feel matte foundations and concealers, they tend to dry pretty quickly. So you don't have super quick time to work with them, but if you add a setting spray into the mix, they will kind of give them a bit more time to kind of work and to blend. So I will spray a bit after the foundation as well before we do the concealer, just to get some of that hydration in. And if you're using cream products, when you spray it, it makes the cream products easier to blend, like the bronzers and the blushes and everything.
Foundation is done.
The foundation is done. We're prepping for the concealers. So I'm going to use two products on Johanna today. I'm going to use the Pepper Prime highlighter stick. This is a color corrector. The shade is called Bright Forecast. It gives you like a brightened under eye, removes any blue tones. And then we're going to go in with Prolonger Concealer, another one of the classics.
The OG.
The OG full coverage concealer. And I am going with shade lighter NC25, so one up from the foundation.
Johanna, 16 years. I've used that one a lot.
It's a really nice one, but again, it's like the foundation. Less is more with it as well. So I'm going in with the color corrector first, if you can look up from me. Color correctors, they tend to cancel out any like blue or purple tones, or they give you like a bit of a brightened under eye look before concealer, because they have peachy undertones. And I find for a full glam, you want to probably have the brightest under eye. So I like to take that step before the concealer and just like dab it on the places where the skin is a bit more blue.
Yeah. What? So that's not the Studio Fix?
No, this is the
stick?
Yes.
Oh,
so it's called the Prep and Prime highlighter stick.
Oh my god.
And it's not a highlighter in the fact that it's shimmery.
No.
It's a highlighter because it brightens up the skin. Yeah. And I use this one also to sharpen up the shadow a bit. You can always take a flat brush and kind of work on the edges to make sure it's all really, really clean and sharp. But it really tones down the blue before you go on with the concealer, and also makes you use less of the concealer. So look all the way up. Perfect. There we go. And now I'm going to work in with the sponge. Yeah, of course. No problem. And I'm going to blend it in with the sponge a bit. So look up. Just press it in. It's a very light formula, so it won't make your concealer like extra thick. It just helps with the color correcting. There we go. And
so
have a
maybe
look.
I need that stick.
Have a look. It does actually quite a good job.
Yes.
And now we're going in with the Prolonger in NC25. I'm gonna paint it on, let it sit a bit. The longer you let your concealer sit, the more coverage you get. So I like to kind of apply it where you want to have it, brighten up that area. Don't have to go super hard on it because of the corrector. But it's nice to let it sit a bit. I find it blends a bit easier and it gives you a bit more full coverage.
Oh.
I don't know what it is about it, but it just does something to let your... Heard people say it, let it marinate for a second.
Okay. My thought was it become more dry when you let it sit.
It can,
yeah.
but that's where we're gonna spray the spray before we blend it out. So I'm highlighting a bit on the forehead as well, so just any places on the face that you want to kind of bring forward. I don't like to go too ham on it, but just like a bit to brighten up. But especially underneath the eyes, that's where I use kind of the most. That's where you want to have the most. And as I said, I use it as a step to clean up a bit of the eyeshadow and everything. Do you go for a winged liner often? Is that your look?
Like 10% of the times I have a liner.
I'm kind of glad we're over that as well.
You are? Okay.
I don't know, because when I started makeup, everybody wanted the winged eye, so I guess I'm a bit traumatized.
Yeah.
It was like...
so hard.
That, and also like you would do such a nice eyeshadow, and then, you know, not everybody can wear shadow and a wing, because it will cover up the shadow. And then I just rather do like I did on you, like a more winged shape on the shadow instead of doing a shadow and a wing. It can look nice. It depends on the look as well, but it's more modern when the shadow is more wing shaped, not as round.
I agree.
So now we've applied the concealer and blended it out, so it looks really nice. We applied a layer of Fix Plus in between, so it gets really nice and glowy. And now I'm gonna set Johanna's under eye with this is a powder called Invisible. It's just called a set powder in the shade Invisible, so just underneath the eyes to make the concealer really lock on and brightened. I'm not personally so much for baking, so I just like to lightly set. I think it looks nicer underneath the eyes. It looks a bit less dry when you bake. Baking is nice if you're like on a hot day or it's a really hot climate, but now we're almost closing into winter here, so there's no point in going so ham with the powder.
Yes.
Really don't apply a lot of it. It's just a small amount and just underneath the eyes.
I love that brush.
It's so nice.
Is it for the face or is it a...
This is technically an eye brush.
Yeah.
It is number 240. It's supposed to be like a really big eyeshadow blender, but I really like it for under the eyes because it's like fits just underneath the eyes without touching your shadow.
Yeah.
And super soft. I even use it sometimes for concealer. Or any like small touch-ups on the face. It's so pretty, and this really like blurs the powder and everything. It just looks really nice. But I'm just keeping it under the eye and trying not to touch the eyeshadow so it doesn't mess up.
And so yeah, you will set the face with a compact powder.
Yes, exactly.
So this was like only like a
just for the under eye.
Yeah.
I think compact powders tend to be a bit heavy on the under eye because they have color in them. Loose powders don't. So I like to keep the compact for the rest of the face. And if you want to keep the glow, not the entire face. So this is the mineralized powder. The shade is called Medium Golden. It is a mineral-based powder, so really good if you experience dryness or if you don't want to look that matte. This one is really nice because it's not very matte. It has a bit of like a skin finish.
Okay.
So I love it on top of Studio
that
Fix.
one, yes.
That one is very nice. I love it on top of Studio Fix that is a bit more of a matte base, so it doesn't get you overly matte.
Okay.
It just sets the makeup. And I do like a very light amount of it.
And like we talked about before, if you want your makeup to last longer, is because it can help with the setting spray or a lot of powder, but not too dry powder.
No, exactly.
So that's why this is good for if you're not too oily.
Exactly.
Like I am.
And this one is also nice to bump up even the coverage a bit underneath the eyes. I don't set the under eye with it, but I can apply a bit underneath the eyes to get a bit of brightness in a lighter shade. But I do have a loose powder before. Yeah. See, but I'm going to do the same. I'm going to use see how it really smooths out the texture of the skin.
Yeah, and I also see the glow is still there.
It's still there. So now I'm using it on the same brush that I used first, 240, if you can look up for me. And I'm going to just add a bit underneath the eyes to add a bit of extra coverage. So don't set with it, but absolutely for brightening and adding coverage is really nice. Okay. There we go. It's a really nice powder for people who don't like powder. Perfect. There we go. So we have everything powdered. And now we're going to add some color back to the face. So another favorite is Give Me Sun bronzer.
Yes.
This is the same formula like I've used for the pressed powder, but just in a bronzing shade. Now that we laid the powder, this one can go on really smoothly on top. So we're going to use this all over the edges of the face to get a bit of color. And I'm using a fluffy brush, not something too compact, because it gets really soft when you apply it that way. Now I'm applying it mostly on the cheeks, working your way up. You kind of want to lift the face. So I'm kind of like putting the brush all the way into the cheekbone and then lightly working upwards. And this one is so nice. It's a really true bronze shade.
Yeah.
Doesn't go too red, doesn't go too yellow. It's like really like suntan.
Yeah, and I feel like the formula is
yes,
one of the best. So
blendable. That's why I like it in the face powder version as well, because you get the same effect just all over the skin.
Yeah, I didn't know that they had, like MAC had that kind of formula with the compact powders for the face. So
it's really nice.
Now we know.
It's really nice. So when you use them together, it gets so like buttery and smooth. Like the powders blend on top of each other really well because it's the same texture. So it's really easy to work with both of them together. Let's see.
I mean, like my routine is different every day.
Same with me.
Yeah, since I have so much products and I have to try out
this and that and
so I don't even know.
I understand.
What I'm doing.
I like to do. I kind of like to switch it up. I have favorites, but to not forget about what I have in my drawer, I do like change it up basically every day. But like Studio Fix and the Pro Longwear Concealer, like kind of like what I did on you is like like I know this works and I know this looks nice. If I'm going somewhere, if I'm going on camera, like I know I will use that. But like for days in the store, then I'm like, okay, let's try out this combo or mix with this, and so yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
Let's see, but this is the one that I'm going to apply on you today. This one's called Sweets from My Sweet. It's like a radiant, rosy, a bit shimmery. Let's see. So this one, gives a bit of a glow to the skin, even though it's a powder. It's not a matte. And I'm using 127 brush, just a flat powder brush. And I don't want to go overboard with the blush because we have quite a lot of pink on the eyes, but it just gives you like a nice, some nice color back to the face. You know, we always need that after a full coverage foundation. No question about it.
Will I put on some freckles?
We can do that, absolutely.
It's not what I'm used to do, but
we'll see by the end. If you feel that the makeup is good, then let's keep it that way. But this is just some nice, like kind of. So now we're gonna apply some highlighter. This is also from the holiday collection. This one is called Wrapped in Gold. It's a shimmery, pinky, goldy duochrome highlight, really pretty. And we're gonna use that on the top of the cheek. It gives a bit of like almost a bit of a sparkle as well. So I think it's like a really festive color. I think it will be also pretty on the eyes. And
the same brush that you use for
the same brush as for the blush. Yes. I find when you use the same brushes, maybe not the one for the bronzer, but if you use the same for blush and highlight, if they're a bit smaller, they kind of blend together. Because I never like to see that stripe of highlight. I want it to be like a glow that's just like there in that perfect shape, but no line. So I do take it a bit over the blush as well. Yeah. There we go. So pretty. Oh. Right? Intense. Yes. Oh! It shifts from like a pink to a gold depending on the light. Exactly. Really pretty. I start at the top of the cheekbone, like kind of the high point, and then I start taking it forward. And this flat brush is perfect for it because you just kind of get the whole cheek in one swipe. Because it's glittery, I will only keep it there. I'm not going to do on the rest of the face, just on the cheeks. Yeah. Because I love highlighting the cupid's bow. Oh, that we can do. That we can do actually. Let's see, so we can do just a tiny bit. A tiny bit on the cupid's bow. There we go. It's a really, really gorgeous highlight. Yes. Very festive. Yeah, it really is. There we go. And to finish off the base, setting spray again, but now we're using the Stay Over. This is like the final in your base. This one compared to the original Fix Plus is way more long-lasting, so it has polymers that makes your makeup stay in place, but it still gives you the same finish as a regular Fix Plus. So if you can close your eyes from me, it's a really fine mist, so it takes maybe a few more sprays than what you're used to, but it really sets the makeup in place so well. Okay, now that we have the base done, the Fix Plus is dried down, you get the beautiful glow. Now it's time to finish off the eyes with lashes. So I'm going to use the Max Stack mascara. This one gives you quite a lot of volume, a lot of length, whatever you need. I'm going to use that, and we're going to apply a half lash on Johanna today on the outer corners. Yay. But mascara first. And I'm using it with disposables to keep it clean. Now we want to use the same mascara on multiple people.
Never do that.
Never do that. We can look all the way down from me to the floor. Perfect. I like to put the mascara in the root of the lash and kind of wiggle it through. There we go. So let's do the other one. I'm just gonna take one more applicator. There we go. If you can look up for me as well. Perfect. Is it okay with the lenses?
Yes.
Yeah, perfect. I'm gonna take a little bit on the lower lashes as well. I'm gonna use a smaller one on your bottom lash line.
Är det Giga Black Lash?
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly. This one is the best on the lower lash line because it doesn't smudge ever and it gives you really defined lashes. I do the same thing. I kind of like wiggle it through. So we're gonna apply a half lash on Johanna today. I'm gonna use these lashes called Seductress number 82. They're really nice and wispy, but we're gonna cut away the edge so you get more of like a flick, a winged lash effect.
Yes, I think that's better for me.
Yeah, I think so as well. So you can always trim your lashes into shorter lashes if that's what you like. Just trim away enough pieces. So I'm taking them away from the package. I'm gonna trim away like the last two to get that just outer corner flick.
So the longer
pieces,
okay.
Yeah, exactly. There we go. So I have the trimmed pieces, so they're much shorter. They're not a full lash. It's just for like the outer 2/3.
Okay.
And I like to use the Duo lash glue in the tube, the green one, to apply the lashes. The best.
Yes, it's the best.
Really, I love that one. Like to paint on. And the trick is to let it sit a bit before you go onto the eye, so the lash doesn't move around. So I like to let it dry down almost a bit before I go onto the eye.
Yeah, so for how long?
Like 30-ish seconds. When the glue starts going a bit clear.
Okay, then it's time.
Then it's time. Okay. Yeah, because when the glue is wet, it slides around. But when it's a bit more tacky, then it really goes on the eye directly. There we go. I also like to bend the lash before it goes on the eye a bit, like this, just so you can get a bit more flexible. Like that, and I'm using a lash applicator to apply the lash. So I actually just put it and then let it like this dry a bit before going to the eye. Never blow on the lash. Never.
But I can if it's
it's you.
Yeah,
But
you cannot.
I wouldn't. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it.
No.
So if you can now look down for me, and I'm just going to plop the lash like this. So the closest you can get it to your lash line, and then just tuck the corners in. So now if you can look the other way, so over there, but look down, exactly. Look, just turn towards me, exactly. So now we're just adding a line of black liner, brush stroke liner, just to hide the lash bands, so you don't really see where the lashes starts and where they end. It hides everything, it hides the glue, so it just makes the lashes look more nice, more natural. How do you feel with lashes? I know you don't usually wear lashes.
Yeah, but since it's like a third. Or,
yeah. It feels more
something else.
Yeah,
yes.
It's something else. I agree.
Yeah.
Okay, well then we have lips left.
Ooh.
Fun part. We're gonna go. I'm gonna go talk while I'm taking this. Just gonna blot Johanna's lips to make sure there's nothing on them. But we're gonna use a lip primer before. I like to make sure the lip is really clean. I even sometimes take a bit of foundation over the lips just to get that nice edge. The liner goes on better, if you ask me. I take a tiny bit of the concealer that we have used and just kind of blank out the lip line. Or you could even use powder. Doesn't matter as long as they get a bit paler.
Yeah, like the eyeshadow base.
Exactly. I think it just helps with the lining, especially when it's a bit of a lighter lip that you're doing. You might need to blank out so you get the full effect. There we go. Then we're going with Prep and Prime for lips. So this is a lip primer that makes everything last longer. I like to apply it all over. Unlike a balm, it makes it doesn't make the lipstick look shiny. It almost is a matte texture, the primer. So if you apply a matte lipstick, you will stay matte. And if you apply a glossy lipstick, it will stay glossy. There we go. So if you can just rub your lips together. The trick with this one is to have it get almost a bit tacky before you apply the lip liner. So I like to let it dry down before we do anything. Yes. And we're gonna start filling in the lips or lining lips with a classic Whirl lip pencil from us that Johanna knows very well.
Of course.
And we're going to use one of the new lipsticks from the collection. This is a Lustreglass one called I've Been Naughty. A really nice beige nude color.
Yes.
It kind of works with anything.
I mean, this is like the perfect
I think that's
shade.
a you color.
Yes, it is. Oh my god.
Right? That's a you color.
It's really like Viva Glam 2.
Yeah, but a bit lighter. Exactly. Exactly. So let's go with that one. I'm gonna do the whirl liner first.
So I often just overline the underlip and nothing but
on the top. Okay, perfect. I like to start on the Cupid's bow of the lip. Do you like to highlight the Cupid's bow or do you like to smooth over it? Because I think you have a really nice one.
You do, you.
Okay, sounds good. This is a no speaking thing, can't really. All right, so we have the lip lined. We just did a bit of like overline on the bottom, nothing on the top to keep the lip really balanced. And now we're gonna go in with the lipstick. So this is the one from the holiday collection. It's a really nice pale beige with a creamy glossy finish, so really comfortable to wear. And with the Whirl pencil, you really get that kind of 90s, you know, lighter lipstick, darker lip liner effect. So I'm trying not to cover up the edges so you still see the pencil, and working with the lipstick more in the center. Yeah, this is a really nice color on you. Just grab a brush so I can blend them together. Oh. It's a you color, right? Mm-hmm. Definitely. And I'm just using a brush to blend them together so the line of the liner is not too sharp. You're gonna love this one. Have you ever used C-Thru?
No.
Love.
It looks perfect.
It's a love. Mm-hmm. And then to finish off the lip, I'm using a bit of a gloss. This is the shade C-Thru, but it's not see-through. It's a light beige. So just kind of in the center of the lip to brighten up even a bit more. It's a really true 90s, 2000s kind of beige lip dream. Mm. But I'm not applying it all over to not make the whole lip look really light, more just in the center. And there we go. If you can just press your lips together now. Perfect. Let's see. And I'm gonna just use the brush to blend it out, the same as I did. Mm. So here we have the final look on Johanna using the Bubbles and Bows holiday collection. So we have a bit of a pink metallic smoky eye with a beige lip and a perfect skin. I think it's a great holiday look that anybody can follow. If you like the techniques, you can always change out the colors. But I'm so glad the pink is making a bit of a comeback this year.
Yes, we have to. I feel like the skin, it doesn't look dry at all. Yeah. It's full coverage, but it's glowy and like so bright under the eyes. And the lashes are like a little bit dramatic, but you can use it almost every day.
Almost.
Like, maybe, but I mean the eyeshadow is fantastic. Yeah.
Thank you.
I will definitely use the shimmer shadows and the mattes, and the lip combo.
Yeah.
Always perfect when
always perfect.
Something like this.
Exactly.
Yeah, so thank you so much for visiting my channel this
Thank you for coming to NK with us.
So if you want to get your makeup done, you can come here?
Yes, so you can come to the NK counter at MAC, talk to us, we figure out a time and what works the best for you. Mm-hmm. So you're always welcome to the counter here at NK.
Yeah, that's perfect. So if you want to see another brand making my makeup, just comment down below what brand that would be. Så ja, tack i alla fall för att ni har kollat på den här videon. Glöm inte att trycka på tummen upp och glöm heller inte att prenumerera om ni inte redan gör det. Så ses vi igen i nästa. Hej då!
Bye!